Watch. There's no bottom here either. It's just liquid. This is...
Online and on TikTok. Usually I don't use TikTok for real research. But there's so many people on there doing this.
Well, what's up, guys? It's Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and it's warm. Oklahoma's heated back up. Cool mornings and hot, dry days. I don't know what it's like where you're at, but it is getting dry and crunchy around here. Never mind that pretty green field in my background. Everybody says, man, you ought to just throw out seed and plant a bunch of stuff, a bunch of food plot here for the deer, and just let the deer come in and eat that like a food plot. Hold that thought. I'll show you what that's actually like in just a minute. But anyway, so I just want to give a little preface here. If you're watching this video, let's all sit down, put our seatbelts on, and buckle up, because if you're not offended by the end of this video, maybe we can be friends. I'm kidding. Sort of. Have a few things I want to talk about after we do a little pond update here. Have a few things I want to talk about with you guys and just discuss. And I may get DJ involved in it, but we're going to walk around and do a little pond update. Because if I don't do at least one pond video a week, folks want to come after me with pitchforks and things, and you know, I don't know. Everybody wants to know what's going on at the pond, but it's a slow process. And I feel like I should start off by saying I have not been able to do much work at the pond in the last, well, most of the last week. Today is the last day of the Heaven's Gates Hell's Flames production at our church. We've been doing that whole thing like Saturday through Wednesday, and it takes a lot, but it's an amazing event, and I'm very blessed and thankful that our church is able to host that type of event. But back to the pond. So most everything is drying out really well, and I've had a lot of questions from folks about why I don't just hire out a construction company to come in and do all the work. And that is the plan. I do have a couple pieces of equipment that I've been over here using and working with a lot, but it's way too big of a project for what I'm wanting to do. To go from a 1.5 acre pond to a 4 acre pond, we're gonna have to move an estimate just to raise the dam 8 feet. It's about 600 10-wheeler loads of dirt. And in order to get that dirt, we're going to get it from out here, which kind of leads into the next main question a lot of folks have had. Over the last few videos, you guys have seen me come through with the excavator and the skid steer and take out a bunch of trees and a bunch of stumps. A lot of this type of stuff I'm trying to get out of here. And a lot of folks make a valid point. They're like, if you're going to build a pond back and you're going to do some bass fishing and stuff, and you want to stock bass love structure. And you're absolutely right. I do not disagree with that at all. I would love to leave this whole ditch, all the tree stumps, all that stuff in this pond, because that's what bass prefer for habitat. They don't want just a big bowl like out here. We rarely caught bass out there unless it was along the dam or in that brush pile. But unfortunately, we're not able to leave all of this, because this is where we're going to get all of our fill dirt, all the clay that we need to build the dam back up. So in order to go up 8 feet, if we need 600, that's just an estimate right now, but approximately 600 10-wheeler dump truck loads of dirt, it has to come from somewhere. And if we want to make the pond deeper, this is the most logical place to get that dirt. And like I said, I will be hiring a construction company to come in and do all of that stuff. Those guys have way more experience, way more knowledge. I'd rather pay somebody to have it done right. I could sit out here and just peck away with my small equipment for the next 2 years and maybe complete the job, but then it might not ever hold water. I don't know. But so my goal and what I've been doing is just trying to just basically have a clean slate for when whichever construction company comes in they can just get straight to work on digging it out and moving soil, and I don't have to worry about them cleaning and moving and all that stuff. So just trying to get ahead, and I've talked about that a few times, but like I said earlier, most everything is drying out really, really well. There's a couple places like in these ditches over here, it's still very soft. So as you can see, I can stick a stick down in the mud. There's no bottom. I mean, I've got a 4 foot long stick, but let me show you this. A lot of folks have, wanted to know what was going on out here and why I'm not cleaning out here. Let me show you what this stuff is. So when we came in and cut the dam, I hired a company with a big excavator to come in and cut the dam. They cut the dam down as deep as as we could, really. It can only go as deep as the bottom of the pond. If we dig it deeper, it's not like more water is going to drain out. But this area of the pond, and a lot of folks have said, why aren't you cleaning out the main bowl? Well, here's an area that's not covered in grass. Most of this is starting to grow grass, and my thought was, man, it must be drying out and getting pretty solid. The grass is going to pull the moisture to the surface, Well, check this out. Oh, don't sink in the mud. I've got on Crocs. So this, what looks like mud here, right? I mean, this looks like, oh, okay, maybe you might sink in it a little bit. Watch. There's no bottom here either. It's just liquid. This is, you could almost get some of this out with a trash pump, but it would clog up a pump probably. But this, even if I got over here with the excavator and scooped this out, it's liquid. So it's going to take different equipment than what I have. Don't get me wrong. Tons of you have offered suggestions. Tons of you have suggested to go watch a couple different channels. Let's Dig 18. There's a couple. There's 3 or 4 big excavating channels. And there is a way to take a bulldozer and push. You skim the surface and just push dirt as you go, and you can push all that mud out the drain out there. I am not in any way about to stick that skid steer down in that stuff, because it might disappear. That's not my department, so I'm going to stick to the fringes, the outskirts, cleaning a little bit. What I might do, if I get the courage, is after I get through cleaning up some of this is all dried and it can be all removed now, other than the very low spot over there. I may get in here with the excavator and try to get on the fringes of where it's dry versus soft mud, and just reach out there and scoop a few times and do like I've been doing in that back ditch back there, so that water can start pooling up in this, and I can put the trash pump in there and start pumping water out. Otherwise, this is not going to dry. This would take 6 months, 8 months maybe, and every time it rains, it's just water's gonna drain back down into that area. So I'm not real sure what to do with that yet. But on the flip side of things, I've got piles and piles and piles of this old muck, and I've talked about this stuff. We talked about, Luke from In My Gardener called and was like, man, we could get you some bagging machines and bag this up and sell it and all of that. I don't know if that's going to be possible or not. I don't know if that's something I'm even going to be able to make feasible or make time for. But there is a lot, and I mean a lot of good piles of soil that was muck at one time that spread across all around the pond. And it's not really good for the pond dam. We've got to get it out of here. We're going to have to haul it somewhere and do something with it. So I've been talking to everybody I know and thinking about different ideas. I've kicked around the idea of trying to find like an old, early 90s dump truck, so that I could at least get in here and start loading some of this stuff up and going and dumping it around our pastures and stuff, and filling in some ditches and ravines and just doing different things with it. spreading it across our own land here. But if you buy an old beat up dump truck, say for $20,000, $25,000, you're going to get an old beat up truck. And one thing I'm not is a mechanic. So what I'm thinking about doing, my buddy Dutch from Keeping It Dutch just recently bought a dump bed trailer, a dump trailer. I've thought about buying one for years. We could use it for all kinds of different things around here. And pretty much everybody I know would probably be interested in borrowing a dump trailer. Everybody's always got something they want to haul off. So I'm kicking around the idea of buying a dump trailer. And the reason I like the idea of the dump trailer better is because it's going to be back here in some rough terrain, obviously, right? And with a dump trailer, I could hook onto it with my tractor, get the tractor back in here and not have to worry about scratching up my pickup truck or scratching up if I bought a nicer dump truck. But a lot of dump trucks would get stuck in a lot of places where a tractor shouldn't get stuck. So I'm kicking around the idea. Here's what I'm thinking of buying. When I say kicking around the idea, that means I've already done about 3 days worth of research and watched 1,000 videos on YouTube. Everybody's got an opinion on dump bed trailers. I've watched Andrew Kelly from Kelly's Country Life. I've watched Brock, guys, pretty much everybody. Dirt Perfect, I think's done a bunch. I don't know. Stanley Dirt Monkey, I think's done a bunch. I can't even remember who all. There's hundreds. So I'm thinking, here's what I want. You guys let me know in the comments if you have any experience with a dump bed trailer. I'm thinking like a 14 foot with a telescopic boom, which means it lifts from the front of the trailer, not the scissor lift in the middle, because let's just face it, this stuff is heavy. This wet mud is unbelievably heavy. I think the telescopic lift will lift more weight. I don't want one with real tall sides. I'm thinking like 2 or 3 foot tall sides. If you needed it taller, you could put some boards on the side of it later. And I think that would be perfect for getting this nasty goop out of here and at least dumping it somewhere else so that it can dry. And I don't know how much water is in this mud, but it is super heavy. And I think we're starting to make a little bit of headway on it though, honestly, because you guys have watched me pump water out of this mud hole for 2 weeks now. And it's filling up less and less. I haven't pumped it out in 3 or 4 days, and usually it's at least a foot deeper. So a lot of that water's draining out of there. I don't think it's groundwater. A lot of folks think it could be groundwater seeping up, and there may be a small percentage of that, but it's not filling back as much. So I think it's draining out of the mud personally. All right, there you have it. Quick pond update. Like I said, I'm not doing any work over here today. I've got several other chores I've got to get done, and then we have to be back up to the church this afternoon to get ready for the final night. We extended it 1 extra night, Heaven's Gates Hills Flames. Guys, I'm telling you, it's an incredible ministry, and there's no other way to put it. Ty and Cindy Fisher are the couple that put it on at our church, and they travel all over the country, all over the world, and have for 20 something years. And it's just crazy to see what God can do in a church service on a Tuesday night. You know, it just blows my mind how you have an altar call in a crowd of 300 people and 70 or 80 are down front, you know, doing business with God. It's awesome to see. Hey guys, today's video is sponsored by DeleteMe. Now, unless you've been hiding under a rock for the last year, or you're a brand new follower of ours, you know we've been using DeleteMe services for almost a year now. I think October of last year. And DeleteMe is a fantastic service to help remove your personal information online. I think the dogs are going to try to help today. DeleteMe is a hands-free subscription service that will remove your personal information that's being sold online. DeleteMe's privacy experts remove you from hundreds of data brokers all year long. They'll remove personal information like phone numbers, addresses, and things. It's a very simple process. Really, all you do, you go onto their website, submit all of your information, and then DeleteMe's experts will go through and search for your information online and send these removal notices to data brokers to remove your information from suspicious or possible illegal internet websites. So basically, when I log into my dashboard, here's what I see. So they've got my information on here. You can see there have been, so far, since October of last year, there have been 18,436 listings reviewed, and there have been 95 data brokers that have my information. So, like I said, I've been using them for over, well, almost right at a year. So you can see we're starting to, I feel like, come over the hill. So as DeleteMe does their scans and checks, it looks to me, this is the way it appears, they're finding less and less of my information online. So you can see, I mean, in August of 24, they removed a third of as many as they did in June. And when I say remove my information, here's a little breakdown chart of what these folks have had, my exposed data. 29% had my address, 24% had family members' information, 24% had my name, 14% had my age, 10% had my spouse. And that's, I've talked about this before, but DeleteMe will also help protect your family, because if your information's out there, they're going to tie it to your spouse, your kids, your parents, and all the different things. So to make sure that you and the people you love are protected, click the link in the description box down below or visit joindeleteme.com/arms20. And if you do, you're going to get 20% off removing your personal information from the internet. And you'll get your personalized report back, like I said earlier, in as little as 7 days. Okay, this is the part in the video where I said, we may say all kinds of things that offend you, and if you're not offended by the end of this video, then we can still be friends. It's nothing bad, nothing bad. Today marks 15 days, half of a month. DJ and I have been on Carnivore. Are you running off already?
No, I was turning, crossing my legs.
2 weeks and a day, but half a month. Our goal right now is 1 month on the Carnivore diet. Listen, we are not nutritionists. We're not dietitians. We're not even smart.
That is not true.
DJ thought it'd be a great idea to try Carnivore, and I said, let's do it. So we are a little over 2 weeks in. It's tough the first 4 or 5 days, I think.
Day 4 or 5 was the worst for me.
I mean, we went cold turkey. So some people, Carnivore diet, if you're not familiar with it, is all animal products. And there's different levels, I guess you could say. So where we're at is we're eating red meat, chicken, fish, eggs, dairy, so milk, cheese, cottage cheese. A lot of animal products, pretty much all exclusive animal products, no vegetables, which is really weird. It's hard to get used to not eating vegetables. But we went cold turkey. So some folks will go like keto first and low carb, and then they'll kind of work into the Carnivore thing.
Yeah, not us.
We had DJ's birthday, and her grandma made this amazing coconut cake, and it was huge. And we ate the whole thing in like 3 days and said, now it's time to start Carnivore.
Yeah.
And I really thought we'd have some sugar problems, like some blood sugar regulating and some...
I mean, I usually do anyway. Like, not doing anything special with the diet. If my blood sugar drops, then I get all shaky and sweaty and clammy, and not at all. That's not happened.
Nothing. No problems with that whatsoever. The first few days, DJ, I think, was drained of energy. And a lot of folks call that, when you get on the keto diet, they call it the keto flu, because it's pushing out inflammation of your body. So a lot of the foods that we eat that are toxic, and a lot of sugars and starches and grains and the breads and all that stuff causes inflammation in your body. And that keto flu, which we didn't really have specifically, but you get that tired, lethargic, just feel like you've been beat up kind of feeling. I think DJ experienced it a little bit. So we're doing this. There's 5 of us all together. And I think Dusty and Marissa are struggling a little bit. I don't know if they still are. I know they were. And Tracy, our friend Tracy's doing it with us. And I think she's enjoying it, but I don't know. She's having a few digestional issues.
Yeah.
But it's been great. We're not necessarily doing it for weight loss, but we always try to do something. We're always trying to do something to improve our health. We've done we used to juice for years. We juiced all of our vegetables that we grew, and that was great. I don't have anything against it. It was good. And then we've always tried to work out and stay fit, whether it's running or going to the gym. 2 years ago, we started CrossFit and did that pretty much 4 days a week for 2 straight years.
Yes.
I thought when we started CrossFit, man, this is hard. I'm probably going to lose like 10 or 15 pounds. and I gained 10 or 15 pounds, which was all muscle, which is fine. But we don't have a lot of body fat to lose, but we all have a little bit, you know. Got some love handles and a little belly. In 15 days, I've lost 11 pounds. And it's not like I'm starving myself. DJ hasn't lost much weight at all. It's just a pound or two.
No, it's like fluctuated from 1 to 3 pounds.
Yeah.
So that part's not.
I have, but it's weird because I haven't struggled with cravings. I haven't had like sugar cravings or anything. Once you get past the first few days, I feel like I'm full all the time. We eat. Yeah. I'm not losing weight because I'm not eating. I promise you, I'm eating a lot. It's just not junk. It's nutrient dense, high quality, good stuff. Yeah. And we're trying to be very picky in what we eat. And when you put good stuff in, you don't have a lot of extra waste that goes out or causes inflammation. Like, I don't have a lot of health problems. And I don't have many issues. I've been pretty blessed. But in the mornings, typically, my feet hurt. Like when I get out of bed, it takes me a few minutes to get my ankles and my feet moving. And I didn't know what that was. I thought it was just being sore from working out all the time. And I would say about three days into the carnivore diet, I'd get out of bed in the morning and notice, man, why don't my feet hurt? And, you know, after the first week, like it doesn't even cross my mind that my feet would be bothering me in the mornings when I get it. It's just a couple minutes usually. It's nothing bad, but that's just inflammation leaving our body from not having sugar and flour and all those things. So I don't know. What's your opinion on the carnivore diet?
It's definitely growing on me. The sugar stuff, like it doesn't bother me until I see it. Like we've been doing the deal at church, and so many desserts are in there, and like we have to walk through the kitchen, and it's like, I want one, but if I don't see it, I don't think about it.
The funny thing is when DJ's not restricting her diet in any way, she wouldn't go grab that dessert.
No.
Like 90% of the time, she might eat one bite.
Yeah.
So I pick up a dessert, and Houston picks up a dessert, and Emily picks up a dessert, and DJ picks up a dessert, and Dad ends up eating 3/4 of all of them because everybody just picks it up 1 or 2 bites at something.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I'm the cleanup guy. Yeah. But this carnivore stuff it's been interesting. So like breakfast, we'll have bacon and sausage and eggs. You know, fry eggs and eat some bacon or sausage. Lunch, it's just like hamburger patties. We'll make, you know, we have a lot of our own meat, so hamburger patties or a pork chop or a steak. Supper, you know, the last week or so it's been really off because of our evening plans, but you just have to be intentional about it and plan it out. And it's really not, I mean, like there's been a lot of meals and a lot of things we've done and gone to where normally I'd be eating 2 plates, 2 helpings, and it just doesn't even bother me. I'm not even really affected by the cravings. Mm-mm. Because I feel full off of a smaller meal that's more nutrient dense, I guess.
Yeah.
And who would have ever thought just eating meat and cheese and eggs would keep your body so full and happy, satisfied?
Yeah, it's really weird. And I did a lot more research on it than he did, I think, in the beginning. You know, just online and on TikTok. Usually I don't use TikTok for real research. But there's so many people on there doing this. And they just have had some amazing results, even as far as 2 weeks in, you know, as far as a year. You know, that's not necessarily on our agenda, I don't think, but that could change depending on what it continues to do for us.
It may not be something that we do all the time long term, but I think in short spurts, and I say short spurts, a month or 2 here and there. I mean, I want to eat vegetables. I want to get back on a whole food diet eventually. I'm not saying this is lifetime type stuff, but it's crazy the difference in how I feel. And there's days where I feel like my energy's a little bit low, but it's just because I'm not on a sugar high, I feel like. Yeah. It hasn't slowed me down much.
I do feel like it's also making me more health conscious. Like I'm looking up, you know, not that I didn't before, because I did look at ingredients and stuff, but now it's like, okay, what can I buy without the nitrates? And what's going to be better option for the kids, you know, or I mean, for all of us, you know, without adding back in the crap.
Yeah. And as far as looking at ingredients and stuff, I mean, we all know there's sugar in everything. But when you're on a I don't want to call it a diet, because I don't feel like we're on a diet. We're not doing this for weight loss goals or anything like that. But when you change your diet and you start saying, okay, I'm not going to eat any sugar, it really limits what you can buy at the grocery store.
Like, I want peanut butter really bad. That is one thing that I really, I eat it off a spoon, put it in a shake, whatever, and there's just so much sugar, even in the healthy peanut butter.
Yeah, everything. Everything. Like, all your sauces, all your condiments, everything has sneaky sugar in it. Even cooking meat. I'm smoking meat and grilling meat and all that. I have to be careful of what like rubs and spices and seasonings I use, because a lot of them have sugar.
Yes.
So
there's a ton. So overall, I think it's been really great.
Yeah. How do you like the carnivore diet?
It's pretty awful considering I'm fending for myself.
Whatever.
Oh my Lord.
You're ridiculous. What about you? You like carnivore so far?
Yeah.
Neither one of them are doing the carnivore diet.
No, they eat the meats or whatever, and then they have their potatoes or macaroni and cheese. We're still giving them the unhealthy crap.
Oh, I did buy you some peanut butter powder for your shakes, for your protein shakes.
Oh, cool.
And I got y'all some banana nut muffins. Been having to stare at all afternoon.
Oh, man. Okay. Next thing. So I said, if you're not offended, blah, 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 blah. Listen, two of the fastest ways to offend anyone on the internet is talk about their diet and religion. The only other one that I've left out is politics. I'm not into politics. So other than
we vote.
I vote, and I'm not going to vote for that lady. Anyways. She's running around somewhere. She's out here.
Pointing on some birds down there a while ago.
Kelsey!
So, we talked about our diet, and you may or may not agree with that. And in the last video, I talked about we were doing, and in this video, I talked about it some, but Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames at our church. It's been the most incredible thing. We've been a part of it 3 or 4 times in the past, and it's just awesome. I have no other way of putting it besides just awesome. But I posted about it, talked about it, and it intrigues me with the comments. I know not everyone has the same belief systems, and I know not everyone's going to believe exactly what we believe, and that doesn't mean we're trying to force anything on anybody. But some of the comments you get, you just feel bad for people, because they've so completely upside down misconstrued what being not just a Christian, but a follower of Jesus is about. They just don't get it. They don't understand. And I'm not bashing anyone, but the feedback in the comments has been 99% good. But then you get those emails and those comments from people that they're attacking one little thing that they know a little bit about, so then they've just completely turned their back on any kind of religion, being any kind of religious person. And it's I don't know, but Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames at our church has been an awesome success this year. It's extended into night 4. We're doing it Wednesday. It was originally just planned to go through Tuesday. There's Kelsey. She finally found us.
The water scares her.
She's scared of the sprinkler.
Yeah.
Maybe a good thing. It's been fun, and it's been like the first night, I think we had 350-ish people on Sunday night.
No, it was 450.
450? Okay, there you go, 450. The second night, I think it was quite a bit lower. I mean, we might have had 250.
I think it was around 2.
Yeah, it was smaller on a Monday night. Still getting 200 people to show up to a church on a Monday night to hear a gospel message was amazing. Tuesday night, it like exploded again, and the church was full. And so tonight, we're curious to see how many people show up. But it's awesome. If you ever get the chance and it's ever shown at a church in your area, I highly encourage you just to go listen, go watch it. There was one lady that had left a comment that basically was talking about, she just can't stand any pastor that preaches on hell and fire and brimstone. And she grew up in a church where I think her grandpa was a pastor or something. And I don't know the whole story, and it's not anybody's really business really. But she was basically scared of the church because the pastor talked about hell and all the bad. And I'm like, and that scared you away from the church?
Yeah. It's kind of backwards.
Ty and Cindy, Ty Fisher, the guy that's putting on Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames at our church, always says this one thing on stage every night before the performance. And he says, hell's not a bad word, hell's a bad place. And it's so interesting how things get changed over time. You go back 30, 40, 50 years, and we were a much more, I think the word is God-fearing country, right? Mm-hmm. Like, well, not that you're afraid of God, but you're God-fearing, and you know that
there is a heaven and a hell.
and in her comment, that lady's comment, she said Jesus is love, and you know, she chooses to follow that mindset, and which there's so much more to the story.
Yeah.
Like Jesus,
and you don't get to pick.
Jesus loves you.
Yeah.
But you have a choice. Like, it's your decision. And by not making a decision, you're still making a decision. So here's my thoughts on the matter. Let's say she's a Christian and I'm not. Her belief is she's born again, she's saved, she's going to go to heaven. She lives her whole life with that in mind. She's a good person. She does things for others. She gives money to the church. She helps out with all these different things. Not that giving to the church or being a good person gets you to heaven, but that's fruits, like fruits of the Spirit. And then on the other hand, you got me, who, just not me, but the next person, they don't believe in God. They don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe in any sort of thing. And they say, you know, I'm just here. It's just evolution, and it's just all an accident. Okay? So if she's wrong and she dies, nothing happens. If I'm wrong, the non-believer, and I die, oh man, you're going to spend eternity in hell because you just refused to be open-minded about something. The worst case scenario, if you're a believer, is nothing happens. The worst case scenario for the non-believer is way worse. I don't know. It's just anyways. So, hopefully you're not offended.
Someone will be.
We've had quite a few fans show up. A lot of you folks have came and saw the drama, and we opened up the invitation to everybody. You know, we've talked about it a bunch. I know it's not realistic for most people to make it. We're not allowed to live stream it. We can't video the whole program, but it's amazing. It's been fun. I played Jesus this year. DJ's the head angel. She's the one that, you know, basically gives permission to who goes to heaven and who goes to hell in each scenario. And Emily had a speaking role. It's so cool to see that. So it's been a good family experience. And a lot of Houston's friends have come to church for the first time. Emily's got all kinds of high school friends coming to our church for the first time, and guys and girls and people that she's invited are getting saved. And it's amazing.
It is.
It's cool. Okay. There you go. There's today's video. Do you think DJ can remember Ron's outro?
Nope.
It's on a magnet. Somebody sent us some magnets the other day.
Yeah. Let me run in and get it.
Nope. Nope.
I can read.
Do something today to make somebody smile, because you never know. It just might change the whole world.
Good job.
Hey, I had a song of the video since we're on my channel and you're here with us.
Okay.
But I can't remember.
Shocker.
Can't remember. So I'm kidding. No, the song that's played at the end of Heaven's Gates, at the end of the program every night.
Oh,
Come to the Altar? Oh, what's it called? This is why I don't do song of the video.
I think it's called Come to the Altar. Oh my gosh.
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought.
See, I was right. It's called "Oh Come to the Altar." I couldn't remember who the band.
That's not all you could.
It was Elevation Worship. Yeah, they play it at the end of the drama every night, and it's like the most powerful song. Like, it just touches your soul in like the first 30 seconds of it.
Yep.
I don't know. Anyways, yeah, we're going to take a shower.
Yep.
And head back up to the church.
Yep. Eating supper at 4 p.m.
Well, we have to sometimes.